Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the August 26th, 2026 business meeting of the Pelham Board of Education. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know.
You can smell it.
Flag was up there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Tonight we'll have executive session after the business meeting. So tonight's agenda includes several items that establish how the board will organize and conduct its work for the coming year.
For a second, would you mind appointing me clerk pro tem?
Oh, yes. Do I have a motion to appoint a clerk pro tem?
So moved.
Second.
It's Dr. Champ. Okay, all in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dr. Champ. Okay, so tonight's agenda includes several items that establish how the board will organize and conduct its work for the coming year, including our meeting dates, the district's organizational chart, governance and communication protocols, committee roles and responsibilities, and our board charter, our new board charter. Most importantly, we will be adopting our board goals for the 2026-2027 school year. These goals were an important part of the work we did together at the summer retreat, and I want to thank the entire board again for their thoughtful input and discussion that went into developing them. Our board goal reads, together the board and superintendent will support the continued enhancement of student outcomes as well as deepen community understanding of the value provided by the Pelham Public Schools. The objectives supporting that goal are to build on the district's culture of educational excellence by fostering continuous improvement in programs, supports, and learning environments that promote student success and effectively demonstrate the value of the Pelham Public Schools and its positive impact on student success to the broader community. Our work underneath that goal is organized into 3 areas as outlined in the goals document: internal and external communication and culture, finances, and data / student learning. This is a continuation of work that has already underway. We want to continue improving communication both within the board and with the community. That means sharing information more consistently, continuing two-way communication on important issues, and making sure the community understands not only what decisions we make, but the thinking and priorities behind them. We need to evolve how we and the community are thinking about our budget. For the past several years, we have worked very hard to keep increases to a minimum in a very highly inflationary environment, and we have done that through thoughtful cuts, efficiencies, and difficult choices. We need to continue looking for efficiencies in every budget cycle, but we also need to think about where investment is needed to maintain and elevate the excellence of our schools. Going forward, the conversation needs to be about both, where we can be more efficient and where we need to invest. The third area is data and student learning. There are a few important pieces to that work. The board is focused on developing a deeper understanding of student growth. We have an excellent handle on student achievement in Pelham and know our students achieve at very high levels. We want to understand more clearly, what we want to understand more clearly is growth, the progress that students are making over time across different types of learners, and how our programs and supports are contributing to that growth. New York State is also changing graduation requirements through New York Inspires and the Portrait of a Graduate. We want to stay ahead of those changes and ensure our programs continue to prepare Pelham students exceptionally well for what comes next. And last but not least, we want to ensure the district is forward-thinking and with respect to AI and technology use, including developing a clear approach to AI integration and student screen time. Tonight, we will also review the new board charter we developed together at our retreat. It is a shared understanding of how we work together and show up for one another, listening to different perspectives, assuming positive intent, coming prepared and engaged, disagreeing respectfully, and addressing issues directly when they arise. We developed it because effective governance depends not only on what we work on, but how we work together. Before we move ahead with tonight's agenda, I also want to briefly address this year's new U.S. News and World Report rankings. The New York State Education Department did not authorize the release of AP participation and performance data to the U.S. News for its rankings. That affected schools across New York, including high-performing districts like Pelham, whose AP programs are an important part of their academic profile. As a result, Pelham dropped this year in its rankings. That did not happen because our AP participation or our performance declined in any way. It's because the performance of because the performance of our students changed. It was because a critical piece of data was not included in the ranking. For that reason, I think this year's ranking does not provide an accurate comparative picture of Pelham's performance relative to schools in other states where that data was available, or even within the state, because some schools have less of a focus on AP. Regardless of the ranking, our focus remains where it should be, on the actual experiences and growth and opportunities and outcomes for our students. Finally, we are looking forward to one of the best times of the year. Next week, we will welcome our teachers back for their opening day, followed by our students the following week. A tremendous amount of work happens across the district over the summer to prepare for the new school year. On behalf of the board, I want to thank Dr. Champ, our administrators, teachers, staff, and everyone across the district for the thoughtful preparation that has gone and continues to go on, right, to get the schools ready for our students. We're excited to welcome everyone back and look forward to a great start to the school year. And with that, we can move on with our agenda. Okay. Let's move to item 2.1. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the July 29th, 2026 business meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Those minutes are approved. I'll hand it over to Dr. Champ.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and welcome back. We are gearing up for the start of school. And actually, and I've shared with the board, but just for anyone who might be watching, we're going to try a new approach to our reports this year. So certainly we look for some feedback from the board. We talked a lot about how do we continue to communicate all the work of the district, yet be streamlined in our work. So the new approach that we talked about at the cabinet level is we'll continue for continue to have myself and the cabinet provide you with updates, written reports and memos throughout the year. But that we would work to pick out the highlights of each of theirs, and just to put on your radar things that maybe are most pertinent for action, or that are kind of more significant to make sure that they're discussed publicly. So I would do those in my report as kind of the summary, and then
Great.
certainly opens the opportunity if you've got further questions that certainly can be asked of them. There may be times I would think too where I may toss to them to provide additional color on it. So we'll give it a try, see how we like it for a couple meetings, and certainly look for feedback there. So in that spirit, so yes, we are excited about the next couple of weeks. I keep saying this is the ramp up. Dr. Comerford has been doing a tremendous amount of planning for what's kicking off tomorrow, which is our 2 administrative days of administrative offsite retreat. So you may remember last year's theme was systems of support for all students. This year we're broadening that to systems of support for all learners. So that's incorporating the staff into that too. Okay. We always do learning for our staff, but we wanted to put more intentionality around that as we continue to foster their skills, whether it's training for our support staff, pedagogical training for our faculty, our administrators, SEL work that we've been doing for the staff. So really just making clear that this is not just focus on supports for students, it's for all of our staff and continuing their growth and learning. Next week, another busy week. We start with new teacher orientation on September 1st. Dr. Fitzgerald has been working actively to prepare that, so it's going to be a good day of orientation and welcome. I know each of the departments come and do a little bit, so the business office will be there, PPS will be there, I will be there, Jackie will be there, just welcoming folks and starting to enculturate them in. And we have a new teacher stepping into the role of the mentor teacher for the district. You remember Ms. Connolly has now moved into the role of assistant principal at the middle school. So Ms. Leilani Ruprick, elementary teacher at Hutchinson, really experienced teacher, is now stepping into this new mentor role. So we're really excited about what she's going to bring to that. So September 1st, new teacher orientation is kind of the kickoff of that. And then she'll work with Dr. Fitzgerald throughout the year to meet monthly with the new educational staff. On Tuesday of next week, certainly the board will be coming back for our annual facilities tours. So we're going to try to start with, we're going to be starting with the elementaries this year, so that we can see some of the work that was completed over the summer, in particular some of the roofing work, get some updates there. And then we're going to end on this campus because it's also freshman parent orientation night. So we're going to hopefully get that, let them have the time to do that, and then Mr. Llewellyn will be able to join us by the time we reach this campus. Also on September 2nd and 3rd, the superintendent's conference days, that's the other thing in partnership with or in parallel with the administrative retreats that the team has been working on. So 2 full days of professional learning, training, preparation for the year to come. So we've got sessions that'll be going on all throughout those 2 days. So again, Jackie will be joining me for the opening ceremony on the morning of Wednesday the 2nd. We will have breakfast provided by the PTA Council, and then lunch, of course, the district and the board provide lunch for everybody on day 1. So really excited to be bringing folks back and look forward to a tremendous amount of learning to get us prepared for the start of school. And then students come back the day after Labor Day. So it's very quick. It's a late Labor Day, which means we're bringing them back right away, and really excited for September 8th. So that will be a half day for our kindergarten through 6th grade students. At the middle school, there will be a phased, staggered start for each of the grade levels, and same thing for the high school too, which affords the building administrators an opportunity for orientation. That's all on the calendars. All the communications are going out to parents, so things are exciting. I do believe that elementary rosters will open Friday?
28th, I heard.
28th, Friday morning.
Waiting for it.
Friday morning.
Now.
So,
Mailman.
I know. Well, it's all electronic this year. All electronic.
The office is closed.
That's right. All the administrators will be at a retreat off-site. So, unfortunately.
Do not disturb.
In one place.
But yes, we can look forward to those. But so it's exciting to get to that point, and that really, I think it really becomes real for everyone.
Yeah.
So we're making we're continuing to monitor enrollments, registrations, making some final decisions about that as well. So sections continue to be on track. There still are some very, very close sections, but that has held pretty consistent through the summer. So we're keeping an eye on things and having to make some adjustments to make sure that we stay within what's budgeted and planned for. Throughout the coming year, and this will be our theme for the next several days as we bring the teachers and the administrators back, we're going to continue our focus on multi-tiered systems of support, instructional technology, and ethical and developmentally appropriate use of that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in my report. And certainly the transformations that we're going to be looking at to assure meaningful outcomes for graduates so that they are prepared for life after college. We'll be giving you more specifics on these at our next board meeting once this is rolled out. It'll be more be able to do that in reflection. We'll also be providing an update on the facilities opening of school. So Jim and his department will be putting something together to show the shiny floors that we all got a view of tonight. We'll get to see a little bit more of that on the screen. And as Jackie already mentioned, on tonight's agenda, we'll be reviewing various documents that we worked on at our board retreat to get, again, our focus and goals set up about how we want to do our work and what we're aiming for this year. So certainly opportunity to talk about those. Any last comments on those when we get to that part of the agenda? Also on tonight's agenda, there'll be several things for approval that I wanted to highlight. Our district safety plan will be up for approval tonight as well. We've had our hearing period on that. We received no comments, so that will be, we're asking you to approve that as presented. Same thing with our district code of conduct. No comments were received on that as well. I will note, and I think I've said it before, but we'll say it again, we do plan in the coming year to do a thorough look at that. So that in the coming year, we'll likely have, I think my goal in my mind is probably by April to be able to have the policy committee be taking a look at that and bringing that to the board so that we can have some, more thorough public look at that prior to
the initial hearing, because anytime there's bigger changes, it tends to elicit more interest. So we'll be looking forward to that this year. Also on the agenda, you're going to see a lot of different personnel actions and a lot of last-minute moves, as there always are. So there's some resignations, there's still some positions being hired, and there's still some vacancies that Dr. Fitzgerald's office, in partnership with the respective department, are working very actively on. So we did have a late social studies resignation and FLES teacher. So that, and PPS liaison, so those will be on there tonight, and we're actively working to fill those. Nurse opening, a couple other ones that are either on or in process of being on. So we are working hard to be fully staffed for the start of school. Expect that to be mostly the case. And we'll have contingency plans for any openings that are still, may still be there by the start of school. One other item on the agenda, you'll see a new equipment manager position. That's one that I've spoken with the board about in the past. The last couple of years, we've had this athletic scheduler combined with the equipment manager. And as we've tried that model for the last couple of years, we've realized it's really it's too much work for that one position. So within the existing athletics budget, we were able to find what we believe is enough money that we can reallocate towards creating this new position. So what it would be is a position, it could be the same person all year, it could be a different person each season, so one equipment manager for each season. We've negotiated a rate on what that would be relative to the work of the season to help support the athletics office. So the thinking there from multiple athletic directors in multiple districts is if you have a tight control on the equipment, it pays for itself in time, because you've got good inventory, you're maintaining, you're cleaning, you're repairing, instead of double ordering, replacing things you don't need, not repairing things, and then them having to be disposed of. So that was one of Mr. Castagne's first recommendations. We're able to put that together, so we're excited to put that in place for the fall. Finally, another contract I wanted to just highlight to you. We're entering into an agreement, or recommending we enter an agreement with the JED organization. They are a suicide prevention, mental health, SEL thought partner. Scarsdale's been doing work with them. They do a lot of work around the country. And I know the board remembers our RECOVS grant, which is a partnership with BOCES, came to an end after 2 years. That provided a tremendous amount of strategic thinking and resources, assessments, and just a good partnership. So we were able to receive a grant from through AASA to partner with JED. And so I say that because it's about a $30,000 annual partnership that we're not having to, we got a full scholarship, so the district is not having to expend any funds for that. So we see JED as a partner that does work in that same area, that we can pick up where we left off and continue in the same direction. The last thing we want to do is kind of go in a different direction. So we've worked, Tracy and I have met this several times, and believe that they're going to help us to continue to move our social emotional learning work, mental health, wellness in general, all in the same cohesive direction. So really excited to enter that partnership, thankful to AASA. We do need the board to approve that contract, though, even though there's no funds being
Is that a
expended.
one-year grant or a multi-year grant?
It's a multi-year grant. So
$30,000
that,
a year for multi-year?
correct, yeah. It's
That's
a
amazing.
3-year partnership.
I
Yeah,
missed
so it's
that in
90,
the-
yeah, it's about a
Sorry.
$90,000
That's amazing.
benefit scholarship to the district.
Thanks.
So
Thank you,
tremendously
AASA.
appreciative for the opportunities that come with
Yeah.
partnering with us. A couple other items of interest. So I just want to say thank you to the PTA Council and the PTAs at Colonial, Prospect, and Siwanoy, who are partnering with us to raise some funds for a few air conditioners. I know, again, board knows that in 2027, we are scheduled to do central air conditioning at those 3 buildings. But given the extensive heat and the legislation, really kind of as a stopgap measure, several parents, as you all remember, stepped forward in June at our board meeting to want to be able to intervene, understanding it's a short-term problem, but worked with us throughout the summer. So they're going to be, the PTA Council just approved the fundraising process last night. So letters are going to be going out to families to help support that, which would be 4 units for Prospect Hill, 4 for Siwanoy, 8 for Colonial, which would complete air conditioning of classroom spaces in the nurse's office at Colonial on the main floor of those buildings. The basements still will not have them, but the basements do not get as hot as the other rooms. Obviously, each floor There's probably a 5 to 10 degree difference on some of those hot days. So this should position us, so we don't have to close school for heat again. I think that was tough for all of us, and I think I was just appreciative to these parents for stepping forward and being willing to roll up their sleeves and help. Thanks to Jim and John Condon, who heard the message and went out and delivered. So they are ready. Units, we actually, we worked with the PTAs, they're going to reimburse us, so eventually you will see a donation from them to reimburse for those costs. We were able to go out and procure those so we could get a consistent unit at a good price that was the proper, warranted and proper BTUs. Those have been installed, thanks to Synertia, did the electrical for us for any rooms who needed it. So those are in and ready to go for day one. So really excited about that.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, just to take a second to acknowledge, this is where I really have to hand it to our parent community and acknowledge them for the movers and shakers and doers that we have, because our parents identify an issue and they go above and
Willing to be
beyond
part
to
of the
fix it,
solution.
and
Yeah.
also the district's part in collaborating with them to make this solution work. And I know that these air conditioners are going to be reusable, so it's
Yes.
it's a short-term solution to fix something that is
Right.
really problematic for a lot of, for the whole community now.
Yeah.
To then, when these renovations are complete and we do have a
right.
more fully air-conditioned, these are now
Going to be repurposed.
units that have been gifted to the district, that are, the districts to then repurpose for
Yes.
other needs in other buildings.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Which
At the high
is
school.
really meaningful, so thank you to
Yeah.
the partnership from our parents and our district to make this happen for our kids, and we will hopefully not see them home from school when it's too hot.
Yes, and you're right. That was the piece I forgot to mention. The goal and the intention then is to take all the window units that were purchased these last couple of years. Once we get the elementaries fully, the central air in, those will be purposed then to be put in high school. So that we didn't include that in the capital projects. So that'll give us the opportunity to then make sure that we can get the high school as air conditioned and covered as possible. So it may not be the most elegant solution, but it's functional, and that way we can have cool learning environments and teaching environments for all staff and students. So excited about that. Another thing we believe that the board is going to be very excited about, Dr. Comerford gave an update in her memo on this, but we've got even more updated information. Our conversion to digital registration is well underway. You'll remember this year was the 5th into 6th grade and 8th into 9th grade. So now, as of yesterday, we were up to 88% of incoming 6th grade applications are in and complete, which is great.
That's good, because school
And
starts soon.
yes, it does. And 83% of 9th grade. So we're really excited about that. We've got staff in our office that are continuing to reach out in multiple ways.
Yeah.
We're at the point where we figured once we get to 20 or fewer applications, then we can turn it over to the building for follow-up when school starts. So we're basically right on the cusp of that point.
Okay.
So very excited. Thank you to Dr. Comerford for
Yes,
putting
thank
that
you.
plan in place and seeing it through, and for the staff, they're doing the hard work of follow-up. And thanks to families who really came through and provided everything that we needed. So we're really appreciative to that partnership as well. One of the things that I alluded to earlier that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of days is screen time guidelines. I know it's a big topic on people's minds. So thank you to Mr. Sabalos and Ms. Del Mastro, who have been working over the summer to be very thoughtful about how to best approach this. There's the easy way to do it, and then there's a thoughtful way to do it. And we wanted to, as always, be the thoughtful way to do it in a way that's going to support education, that's going to balance developmental needs with educational needs, and to be really intentional about what are the active purposes of using technology in our classrooms versus passive that are not as necessary and really not as beneficial. So we're going to be rolling those out for feedback with the administrators during the retreat days these next 2 days. We'll also be rolling them out to staff and the superintendent's conference days next week to get more feedback there. We're going to be having the Personal Growth and Achievement Committee take a look at those. So we are planning an early meeting early in September. We're trying to accelerate our committee signups this year so that we can get committees in place as quickly as possible to get things like that moving. And then they'll be coming and presenting to the board, and we're planning to do a parent session as well to roll
Okay,
those out.
great.
So yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's going to be, like I said, a very thoughtful approach that I think is going to make sense for us and still balance a lot of it. There's a lot of competing needs around it. yet we are all sensitive to really wanting to make sure that we're being thoughtful with our students.
When you say a parent session, do you mean like a World Cafe, or what's the format of that?
We haven't totally designed it yet. It could be similar to what we did with the AI, similar to what we did with the AI guidelines. You know, if you've got feedback on what you folks think would be an effective format, we're very open to that.
I think that,
You can go.
I was going to say, I think the AI meeting went very well. I think we just want to
Yeah.
record it, which we already know.
Yeah,
And make
yeah,
it
yes,
available.
yep, lesson learned
but
on that.
Those who attended were very vocal.
Yeah.
And I thought the presentation was
engaged.
great,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, so we're looking
I
for
think
much of
that
the same.
format went well.
Great, okay. Catherine?
So I'm not sure if this is the same in Pelham, but I know from speaking with other districts, and this is a topic on a lot of districts' minds, ed tech, that when we are doing our outreach to parents to have a parent forum, to make sure that we try hard as possible to capture the preschool age families, because in other districts, I think more so than in Pelham, at least to my knowledge, unless other people have had a different experience, but in other districts, the most vocal people have been parents of preschoolers who actually so they don't have public school experience, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have the least amount of knowledge, but they have been the loudest voice, and they don't really understand what the purpose
Right.
of ed tech is in schools. And so the education piece of it has been really important. And so just
Okay.
being mindful of like proactively thinking about like how can we make sure that we're
That's
reaching
great, okay.
all the like even our
Yeah,
3,
incoming
4-year-olds.
future parents.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great feedback.
Because they're really fearful. I think it's coming from
Yeah.
a place of like when you don't understand something, it's
course.
scary, and you know how the impact of screen time at home,
Yeah.
but that's not the same at school. The screens are not the same kind of end goal or end result at school is different. So
Right. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
And I know these are not finalized yet and you're collecting feedback, but when you say intentional, making sure it's, intentional use, does that mean limiting it in elementary to, like, will it be more limited?
I think by
I think
nature.
overall.
Do you want to chime in on this?
I'm hesitant to chime in
Yeah.
before we finalize
I was
anything.
hesitant to ask the question.
Well, actually, I was going to give an update on this in our, sorry to interrupt you, but this is because it's been a topic and so
Yeah.
many, have an advocacy update, guys. Surprise, information for me isn't coming or forthcoming, but there's been a lot of talk about this at like
Yeah.
all of the meetings that I've been at in the last couple of weeks. And the Dear Colleague letter that just came out from the USDOE education deputy educator, whatever her title is, I don't have it in front of me now. Was actually they're not giving guidance, but they're giving guidelines, and they made a very clear distinction about intentional use versus just screen time, and leaving it up to the states. But so again, like schools are kind of figuring out what that
Yeah.
means and how they want to and how they're defining it. And so I don't think we'll be hearing a lot from schools about what a plan looks like until they've had time to think about what that looks like.
I
going
forget
forward.
what school it is, but I've seen some things sort of in the press of them putting out statements about their position on screen time in elementary. And they again, it might have actually been in New Jersey, like, because I get some of that from where I grew up. But the board had a position of, to try to limit screen time in the elementary as much as possible. I was just curious if you're noticing that in this, as you're putting this together, that it'll be more limited or.
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that we know is that during the pandemic, the screen time skyrocketed for all grade levels.
Oh, sure,
And so,
for everyone.
and then practices came to be that may or may not be thoughtful and intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we want to do first, we've been thinking and talking about this for at least, 6, 7, 8 months, and trying to think about how can we make sure that if we're using a device, it's for the right reasons at the developmentally appropriate age. And so what we're first doing is developing some guidelines that I don't, to answer your question, they would limit them, because now we're asking you to go through steps of thinking, why am I using this?
Should
What's
I
the
use
data
it?
I'm using to
Mhm.
show that I should use this? What's the benefit to the student? And so we're putting some structures in place that
Intention.
that kind of force intention, which many
Yeah.
people may be doing already.
Mhm.
And then we're kind of getting feedback on those. And day one of school, superintendent's conference days, we're engaging all elementary teachers in conversations about the why and the what, and, you know, and so we're looking to make sure that students are not being overwhelmed. They are not being just sent off to play with a device without any thought or reason to it. And making sure that everyone is aligned in how they're doing it, so that one classroom or building isn't doing something different from the
Yeah,
rest
that
of the
was my next question, to have
district.
more consistency
So,
across.
so with
across-
that consistency and alignment, and with the intentional processes we're asking, my very naive assumption is that it would lower and limit.
Yes, without knowing for
Yeah.
certain, yes.
But
Okay.
then we're going to be able to tell, because we can
You
see
can track,
usage.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're hoping to, we're kind of aiming to come back to you with a full presentation on it at our October 7th meeting. So that'll give us a time to vet through these different levels and to get, get that additional layer of feedback.
Right, and I'm not, I wasn't trying to say that limiting is always the best thing, right? Sometimes there's data, right, that says if you use a certain
Mhm.
tool online, like
Right,
certain
can make a
minutes a
statistically
day, that
significant
you
difference
can-
in your achievement.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to be aware of those things as well.
Right, yep. And I think too, there is a reality of our 3 through 8 assessments, state assessments are computer-based
Right, and
assessments.
kids need to learn how to use.
So there's,
computers.
unfortunately, there's a skill there that, so, those are all the different things that some of the different things, there's many other different things that we're taking.
And we have our
about this.
K-12 New York State digital literacy standards, which we are mandated
Right.
to instruct. But they don't have to all be done on screens
Right.
either.
There's
So
a lot
we're,
that can be
you know,
done.
We're making sure that we're making, thoughtful and important, very student-centered decisions on those.
Thank
So
you.
more to come on that, for sure.
All right.
And finally, just one more item that's still in the works, but we're continuing to work on, as part of continuing to reinforce a culture in schools that's free of discrimination and harassment. Dr. Fitzgerald is continuing, she's working with Alex and finalizing a Title IX webpage to be launched in the very near future. So kind of a one-stop shop of policies, procedures, who, how, forms, all of that. And also has been working on an employee portal that will launch at some point this year as well. That same thing, kind of a landing page for easy access for employees within some of the new modules that we'll be bringing on within our frontline.
So that's more of an employee phase, because when I think of Title IX, my brain goes to athletics, but
Yes. Yeah, please.
Tracy, feel free to jump in, because Tracy and I are both the Title IX coordinators. But, so there needs to be a front public-facing page for families, because it's not just athletics. It could be not feeling comfortable in a academic program. So the reporting form has to be front-facing by policy. And so that's what we're designing with that webpage, is a landing page for families to find out a little bit more information. What's our policy? Who do you contact? And then the actual formal complaint form.
And then there'll be an additional internal facing through the employee portal.
Yeah, the employee portal, we have a lot more, like, procedural steps and forms for each step of a complaint that we have to go through. But as Tricia said, based on policy and regulation, we have to have something outward facing to the public.
Okay. So that covers my report tonight.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah,
Champ.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is communications and comments from the public. We do not have anyone here, so we can move to, do I have a motion? I think I'm just going to take all of these together and we can talk about them.
Sure.
Do I have a motion to take 5.1 through 5.15 as a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So the first, 6 items are our items from our Board of Education meeting dates, the district's org chart, our communication protocol, the charter, and then the goals. The goals and then our committee assignments, which thank you for having the dates for those committees already provided. That's
We're
wonderful.
working really hard this year to get
Yeah.
get the rhythm all in place so that it's clear and everyone can plan ahead.
Yeah,
So, and of course, if some of the dates don't work, you can let us know and we'll adjust, but.
okay.
Can as far as the board dates, I actually just realized one thing I wanted to raise tonight. The dates, I know those have been out for the board. Thank you for taking a look at those. Those are all, not proposing any changes there. I did want to just highlight that for work sessions, we'd
Yes.
like to go back to starting at 7. We'd done that in the past. For some reason, we switched to 7:30. With a work session, the hope is that there's no exec session and there's no business that night. It's really just work session. And we often have staff with us, whether it's teachers or administrators, so an earlier start tends to be a little bit more considerate for them. So I just wanted to double check that that was okay. And then the one meeting that it dawned on me today is our executive session tenure review in February. That's February 10th. The last several years, we've done that remote, and I think we also shifted it to an earlier time. So I guess I wanted to say on the front end, if it's possible for us to do that instead of scrambling close to that date. I can't remember what time we started last year, if it was a 5 o'clock or a 6 o'clock.
This is February 10th.
Yes.
February 10th.
Not quite sure what I'm doing on February 10th at this point, but I just remember the
You're not?
format has worked well the last
Yes,
couple of
I agree.
years. So
I agree. So, last time? Well, I'm going to encourage us, do we want to start earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then we moved to online, so,
it didn't really matter
Yeah.
as much.
so maybe
Right.
6? We'll split the difference.
6 work?
Because I thought it was about waiting for some of the participants to get home and get settled.
They'll make it work either way. I
Okay.
think the earlier it tends to be, the better. So 6 o'clock sound okay for that meeting?
Mhm.
We'll make that change.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think a 7 start for the work sessions is fine.
Okay, great. And as I said, we will do our best to try to avoid having to have exec session or business unless it's absolutely critical. And,
Yes.
we'll want to be respectful of that as well, because I know it's tough for, for you all to get here some nights from work. So we'll communicate around that. Okay, so in the approval then for the board meeting dates, we would be approving those with a change of February 10th to a 6 o'clock start. So I just want to say that for the record. Okay, great.
Okay, so that's the meeting dates.
Yep.
And any comments or questions on the org chart? I think that was fairly
Pretty
straightforward.
straightforward. Yep. That one's straightforward. That was just updates of new staff. The board governance, I do not believe we had any changes on that from prior year. So
No,
unless
and I
anyone
read
had
it
a
through
last minute.
twice, so.
Okay. All right, it seems to work pretty well for us. The charter is not something that we're technically approving, we're just
We're
reviewing
reviewing.
tonight.
Mhm.
It's not a required document, but as Jackie said, this is something that, we wanted to bring. And this actually fits in with a lot of the social emotional learning work that we've been doing as a district. At the administrative level, we've been using it. It's a tool that comes from the Ruler program, for us to be thoughtful about how we come to the work, how we
Yeah.
want to work together and treat ourselves. So,
Will we make that can people review that, like, will we put that?
it's on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, oh, yeah, it's on the agenda.
Yeah, and so what I would say is maybe, from
We can
time to
put-
time, we can, just as part of our meetings,
Mhm.
just review it, see how we're doing, kind of a little self-reflection. What are we doing well? What are some areas maybe we need to
Shore up.
set some more intention around, shore up? Maybe want to adjust language in time if there's maybe something missing or something that's not quite working. But great start.
Okay.
So, then the goals, you shared those,
Yeah, and I
So-
do have a comment,
okay?
like potentially, like a late addition. I think we should consider making advocacy more explicit not in the goal itself, but in the, what are we calling
In the internal and external communication?
yeah, yes.
Okay.
And maybe we have, right, yes, something like leverage board advocacy opportunities and relationships to advance district priorities at the regional and state levels.
That sounds very good.
Okay. How does that sound? And I just really want to point out that, Catherine, we have the benefit of having Catherine on the West Putt board and being our NISBA.
And Lower Hudson now, too.
Oh, Lower Hudson, and
Education.
aren't you our NISBA liaison as well? So I think it makes a lot of sense for us to have an additional area of focus there. And I didn't send it out today, but Catherine put together a calendar of how advocacy works and where we would have input into advocacy decisions. They were taking positions, so I'll share that after the meeting. I think it was a great thing for us to take a look at. And she's also going to help work on what's an efficient way to get us prepared before we have to take a position on something advocacy-wise. So thank you for taking that on, Catherine, for us.
That's great.
Can I just say something on advocacy? So I'm so happy she's taken over.
Thank you, Natalie.
But also, I just sent her an email. Not because she's been so good about that document, letting us know when we as a board could get involved, or when we as a board could get involved, but also just emailed her about also letting us know when we could have the community get involved, because we're small but mighty. So it's like,
Yes.
not just let us know when we as a board, but we can also rally our community when there are things that you would know that affect us as a community that we could advocate for. So thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. Well, in Pelham, this is so exciting to be doing more of, because I think I mentioned at a previous board meeting, Pelham is a very civically minded community, and our community members pride themselves on their ability to engage in civic work and take part in that aspect of public life. And so to be able to model that at the board level, at the board table for our community, and to be able to pull them along with us and bring them along with us and have them support us in our work on behalf of public education is really exciting to be able to provide those opportunities here for our community members in Pelham who are more than happy to answer that call for us.
Great. Awesome. So can you send me that language?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so then we'll approve the goals with that language added. If
Okay.
everyone's good with that.
Everyone was good with the language? Yes.
All right.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you. And then finally, in this section was the committees. So same committee structure as last year, a little bit of adjustment, as Natalie said, a couple of moving pieces. We worked with the cabinet to set out dates for the year so that folks can have those transparently on the front end and times. And then once the board adopts these, we'll work on launching the soliciting for community membership as well, and any internal staff membership that we need to. So actually, we've got the admin thing ready to go on Friday, and then we'll launch the teachers the following week for any of the committees that involve teachers. So.
Okay. Okay, that was the end of the things,
Board
those types of
Yes.
things. But I do have one more thing to talk about. We had a bunch of sort of parking lot items.
Yes.
How do we make sure that we're addressing those? I know, I saw some of them in the work sessions that we have.
Yes, so, yeah,
schedule.
so I send a survey out to the board. You
Okay,
guys
that's
probably
what the
saw it.
survey is. Sorry.
Yeah, that was, the survey was,
I didn't
yeah,
open
it
the survey
was,
yet.
okay. It does take a little bit of time.
Oh, you
It's,
just said we
Mine's
didn't have to
still
do it by
open.
tonight, so we have
I can tell that it's
paid
in
attention
process.
to
Is it?
that.
Yeah.
If I
She
close,
did
I'm too afraid to
say
close
we
out of it.
We
I
didn't
am
have to
not
do it
sure
tonight.
if
And I
I'll
don't know
lose
the
it.
answer. I don't know
Okay.
the answer.
Okay.
So yeah, I did launch a survey, and that was based on the parking lot
Okay,
items that
great.
we didn't get wrapped into either the
Thank you.
retreat or a
Sorry.
work session. So please do take some time. I also am just experimenting with our new survey tool using Thought Exchange. So it is a little bit more, gives you opportunity for a little bit more open-ended response, which I'm hoping can help us start to learn the tool, but also then to get down to see what some of the, give us a better understanding of what are the things that the board is looking to understand about those different parking lot items.
Okay.
So I've just learned about it. We have to have at least 5 people complete their survey in order for it to give me answers. So because of the AI generated
Does
theming.
it tell you how do I want to phrase this question? Because I don't know if I'm the only one that's like attempted to start the survey or not, but so you,
No, there's 3 people have completed already.
3 people have
So
completed
thank
it.
you, thank you.
Can you, okay, so I have started, I started
You
the
just
survey.
sent it out today.
And it has the question that, Dr. Champ, tell me if this is how it works. You've like pre-populated specific questions, but then based on our answers, sometimes you get a little star
Yep.
image, and that means that AI has decided to ask you like a follow-up question.
Yes.
So I have started this survey, and it seems to have a never-ending amount of follow-up questions
I might have gotten carried away with it.
with AI. Well, so I was like,
Well,
maybe.
I encountered that and I just said, next question.
Stop
I'm
it.
done.
You said you okay. So that's
Stop
so I
asking
haven't
questions.
specifically said I've tried this
is good
because some of the
feedback.
questions are what
That's
kind of strategies would you use, and
Yeah.
I answered this is not an appropriate, like this is outside my scope as a board member to comment on strategy.
Yep.
But then it would follow up with a different question,
Trying to get you to
trying
answer
to
the
get
same
me
thing.
to answer the question, and then
Yeah.
I would say,
funny.
I'm
Stop
like,
hounding me,
I don't want to
AI.
answer the question.
Yeah, I just was like, next,
Yeah.
you know.
So, yeah, and a little bit as I'm playing with it too. I haven't, I didn't sit with a survey developer. I thought, let me just give this a try. I did go put it in once with like Likert questions with follow-ups, and I took it myself. I was like, oh, this is not good at all. So then I went back with the open-ended. The AI questions, you have the choice of, it can follow with going broader, deeper, looking for an insight, or brainstorming solutions. So when you get 4 in a row, it's all those. And I kind of did it based on what I thought were the meatier questions from the feedback and conversations we've had, or things where I knew that the whole board was very interested and we wanted to get a better understanding. Some of them are a little simpler. But yeah, you're right. So even when I tested some of it, it may be asking you for a solution that is more of like something that the educators and the administrators would have to answer.
Right.
So, yeah, it's
Right.
just kind of.
That'd be interesting to see what the results are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll show you. Happy to share that.
How many
take the
how many questions did you put in there? Versus
Versus what AI
versus
would-
because just so I know like how many, because
The
I think
ones
I
that
can
are-
tell how many.
I think that any of the questions that start a new topic. So it's probably like maybe 10 different questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
because there were a lot of,
Like, to what degree are
we
you
actually had
interested
a
in
lot of
this? Or what more do you want
parking
to
lot
know
items.
about student growth?
Mhm.
it's
or-
probably like a dozen or something.
Yeah,
right?
if it's
I
just a
totally-
direct question, then if it doesn't have a little diamond, then
If it doesn't have, well, I know I've been getting a lot of those little diamonds, so I just have to say, like, move on. Next, please. Thank you, next.
So it's a learning
It's
process
been
for
my-
me as much as it is for you guys.
I totally see the value in the tool, though, answering all of those follow-up AI questions, because it does make you think more specifically, and it is, the smart responses that you get are very targeted based on what you answer, because then it asks a very specific follow-up question
Yeah.
to get me to expand more on whatever,
That's right. Yep.
whatever
And
my
that was the
previous
goal.
answer was. So I see the value in, like, I see where Thought Exchange as a name for this tool has come from, because it is
you think so.
very much a partner in that, and so I definitely see the value of the tool in, and I read some of the case studies on the site of how it's been used by other districts, and so I
Yeah.
see why that would
Yeah.
be.
And
I'm
this
sure
is
you
why I
can
think-
limit, I'm
yeah.
sure you can limit.
Absolutely, and this is where their experience is going to be helpful, and that was one of the things that made them stand out. They're there to be a thought partner in design as well. I didn't use them this time; I was just playing with it, but that's part of their role is they work exclusively in education realm, so they know education, know educational issues, and they've worked with districts around the country at the state level, at the national level, and at the local level. So they've vetted they've got a lot of templates already built in that we can pull from that are probably already well-designed questions. And they've basically test run in other districts too. So a lot of resources. They've got partners with us. They've got a researcher, so someone with statistical knowledge in survey design. because designing good surveys is not something anybody can do.
Oh my gosh, I did research on that. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so much that I had no clue about. I have a very newfound appreciation for
Yep.
survey design.
Yes, so mine was very weak, but it was a fun.
Well, we're your test dummies, right?
That's
when you're
right.
like looking to test. So I'm happy to. So thank you, Will, for the
Yes.
confirmation that I can answer.
It wasn't just you.
Please move on.
And thank you all for
Don't
the
let
tip.
AI bully you.
Yeah. I tried being super direct, and I was like, even this
Now I
is.
have the benefit
Exactly.
of
of
what
I,
happened.
I started just
knowing-
hitting
knowing
keys
what
at
to
a
do when
certain
I take
point,
it.
and it's like, can you tell me what you mean by C? You keep saying C. What do you mean by C? All right. Anyways, so yeah, some more to come, but I'll share those results back, and then we'll figure out exactly how are we going to address some of those other parking lot
Okay.
questions.
Thank you. Okay, so Jim, 5.7 through 5.9, anything you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, so, thank you. The 5.7 and 5.8 are our treasurer's report for last fiscal year, May 31st, June 30. They've just been finalized, so that's where you have it. Again, as you look at the June 30 report, you'll see our overnight interest rates at 3.5%.
I saw that.
Seems to be kind of holding there right now. Nobody knows if it's going to go up or down. I think half the people are saying up and half the people are saying down right now, so we'll find out the next time the folks meet. We do have a budget transfer request in here for 25, 26. It was in anticipation of a special ed settlement, either accruing it or settling it. At this point in time, we don't know if that's actually going to be expensed. If it's not, those monies will just flow down to fund balance. And if it settles next year, we'll appropriate it out of fund balance, is my anticipation, if we have to end up paying it. So that's just one of those things that, it's a timing issue right now.
Yep.
We're waiting for final information. We're asking the board to approve the district-wide safety plan. If you recall at the reorganization meeting, there's a 30-day comment period, which is required by New York State law. All school districts have to have the approved district-wide safety plan in place by September 1st. The timing of the board's meetings this summer didn't allow for the 30-day period to happen sooner. I think the last meeting was in late July. The board met in early July and late July, so we were in at that 30-day period. So we're certainly over that 30-day period. We have no comments. Again, this was a district-wide safety plan. That's our forward-facing document. It's modified every year based on existing state law recommendations, working with Alteris and our district-wide safety teams and building safety teams as well. So we're asking you to approve that. Swimming every year, we enter into an agreement with Sarah Lawrence for the use of the pool for let's see, this is the girls' teams, the young
Yeah.
ladies for the fall.
Yep.
I should know that. I'm a
Yes.
swim dad. And then the others were agreements, as Dr. Champ mentioned. One to JED Foundation, I skipped the other one to Mars Speech Pathology, just our regular professional services contracts that we have. We're disposing of some equipment, which I think is actually books, some textbooks. One from 1991, 10 copies. So maybe an old book, maybe an antique bookstore will like that. But we're going, again, just we're making sure we're disposing of these properly. Yeah.
25 years plus
Apparently.
vintage, 50 years.
Over a quarter century, right? Something else.
Yeah.
So we'll ask the board to approve those items tonight. And that's everything.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions on these? I'll say thank you again to the PTA for fundraising for the air conditioning units, and to the community, and then to the organization that gave us the scholarship for the JED Foundation. It's the
AASA, American
AASA.
Association of School Administrators.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all of those motions carry. Okay. Next is policy.
And this is, this was just to do our annual review of the Code of Ethics
Yes, that's right.
for board members. So with this motion, there's actually we're acting on the motion to not change anything. So it's a little bit of a different motion, but this certainly gives the board the opportunity publicly to review the code of ethics, which I know the board
Which we're
is
supposed to do
is
annually. Yeah.
supposed to do annually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a motion to adopt the resolution for policy 6110, Code of Ethics for board members and all district personnel to remain as last adopted and/or revised?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions on this? It's exactly the same. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that remains, remains the same. Do I have a motion to approve the code of conduct for 2026, 2027 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this was another one that went through all of the.
Yep, the public
the public
readings.
reading.
And yep, with no feedback
No
for
feedback.
changes. So it's being approved, same as last year.
Okay, and the district's looking at it this coming
Yes.
school year.
Yep, we'll
Um,
be taking a deep dive into it this year.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that's approved, so you can get that into
Great.
the,
Yep, under the websites.
yes,
Student
in the
handbooks.
student handbooks, exactly. Do I have a motion to take 7.1 through 7.4 as a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, I think you mentioned most of these in your
Yes.
open.
Yep.
Any additional
Uh,
comments?
No, we've got approving folks for 6-period assignments overages, so those are folks who are scheduled for those additional assignments in the year to come. We also have a tremendous amount of stipends. Those are contractual
Oh, yes.
stipends to do a range of things, from coordinating curriculum departments, helping with scheduling, teachers in charge at our elementary schools, chairing different professional responsibilities such as our MTSS committees, our school culture coaches, different team leaders across the different grade levels, and then, of course, our clubs as well. So you've got your elementary clubs, like 24 Club, et cetera, and all the different clubs that are included within the teacher's contract, ranging through the K-12 spectrum. That even includes our drama programs, sock and buskin, and everyone related to that. DOOR co-advisors, elementary newspapers, middle school and high school yearbooks, student government across the grade levels and classes, STEAM coaches, et cetera. So across the whole range of co and extracurricular responsibilities. And then appointing folks that are going to be working lunch duties for us in the coming year. So that's supervision coverage, some coaching and athletics appointments as well. Additionally, some substitute teachers, a teaching assistant. We've had some changes there in the libraries in particular. So we've got a new Megan Maloney is a new leave replacement teaching assistant who's going to be coming to us. Mr. Ritako is moving from Hutchinson to Prospect Hill. And he's, I think, going to be covering another class as well. So this person is covering him. It's a little bit of a shell game. And we'll also be welcoming a new teaching assistant to Hutchinson for their library. And then finally, MLA covers resignation of a monitor and appointments of a payroll clerk. Jim can finally breathe a little bit more.
Were you doing payroll?
Yes.
We've really taken
whole
on
business
the
offices.
additional work for the last 5 months.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job, and they really
No,
did
no.
it seamlessly.
Yeah.
And they really worked very, very hard, and certainly appreciate their work. HR's work in identifying somebody, working with civil service, and again, with almost half a year without a payroll person, it was certainly a lot of work for the folks during some of the most difficult times of the year, the closeout of the year and the beginning of the school year.
Yeah,
So we're very excited. And then a couple of school monitors as well.
okay. All right.
Are we fully staffed with monitors, or we continue?
Dr. Fitzgerald, are we fully staffed with monitors?
Yes and no. So I say that because
Exactly.
we are, but we also, yes and
We
no.
all forgot that
Because we
music.
are, and also at the same time, we are shifting some staff around into other positions, which may they may be monitors. So we're still in the shell game stage.
But
We're close.
right, it is glad to hear that we are fully staffed in a way, because every year we kind of struggle. And so we're just promoting from within.
Yes, yes.
And this is not, I think it's not typical the point at which we're at. There's always a last minute scramble.
Yeah.
So it all works out.
Yes, it always works out. Okay,
School will open.
sure will. Okay, we ready?
Yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those are all approved. Do I have a motion, 8.1, do I have a motion to approve a Schedule D?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's approved. 9.1, new business. I think, Catherine, were you going to give a brief advocacy update?
Sure. Do you
Okay.
still want me to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Let me pull up my notes.
Well, you didn't do it already, right? No.
No. But I can skip over what I already mentioned
Okay.
before. So, okay, so there's been 5 meetings in the past month. Just to give you a brief update on what we covered in each of those meetings. The first 2 I wasn't able to attend, but I do have a update that I can give you. So the first was an LHEC meeting, happened on August 3rd with the New York State Department of Public Service regarding the EV buses. And if you'll remember, our board adopted a resolution in support of the LHEC petition that was sent to the New York State Department of Public Service on May 6th. So we supported this petition, which then this meeting was held with the department staff, who will be working on going through the petition and the concerns. The meeting addressed and the challenges described in the petition, which included like implementation challenges and grid challenges, and also covered who DPS should be, additional stakeholders that DPS should be in communication with, including NICOS and ASBO, and then other regional contracted transportation providers, and they also covered what the next steps were in this process. So the next steps are LHEC will be notified when a formal public comment period begins for this inquiry into the petition, and then also DPS staff expressed interest in meeting directly with district leaders from superintendents around the region, or meeting with smaller groups of districts to just hear more personal stories about the direct impact and concerns of the mandate. So that's upcoming in the future. And I guess if anyone has any questions, maybe you feel free to ask them in the moment, or if you can hold all your questions till the end. I don't know, whatever your preference is, we'll figure out the best system going forward. But in the interest of time, so August 11th, West Putt had a meeting in Congressman Latimer's office. They were actually holding meetings with different congressional members across the region, but you were only allowed to attend the ones that you're in district, like you're in district of residence for. So that's Latimer for us. I wasn't able to attend that meeting, but the primary focus was just the NYSBA's federal funding priorities, and they mainly talked about IDEA funding, and this was exciting, with the goal of, and also career technical education programs, but mainly IDEA because NYSBA, which is National School Board Association versus New York. So like there's New York State School Board Association, and then there's National School Board Association. Those acronyms sound the same, but they're different. And then COSPA are considering a 40 by 40 campaign calling for consistent increases in federal IDEA funding with the goal of reaching the original authorized federal contribution of 40% by 2040. So if that does get off the ground, that will be a very exciting thing, because as a reminder, no iteration of the federal government has fully funded IDEA since 1975. So it would be a huge win for schools across the country if that commitment was fully funded. They also talked about the federal tax scholarship provision, but that's now primarily in the hands of the governor, so there's not really anything anyone can do at any legislative level about it, but it is always something people talk about. Next up are August 24th was West Putt's first advocacy meeting, and as a reminder, these are open to all board members in the region and superintendents. The first meeting usually just opens the floor about what topics are on top of mind for districts. We specifically asked for items above and beyond funding because it all comes down to funding and mandates. So we were interested in really learning what was on districts' minds from, above and beyond that. So some of the things that came up was ed tech. Talked a lot about ed tech and universal pre-K. Really has been the ed tech and universal pre-K has been a theme throughout all of these advocacy meetings. So I would expect that we're going to hear a lot about that going forward. The LHEC steering committee had its second meeting on the 25th, which was yesterday, where you guys will expect to see in your inboxes a survey from LHEC about advocacy priorities. I will encourage everybody to respond. It's just your personal opinion. You don't need to have any knowledge on advocacy topics. The LHEC steering committee is designing that survey as multiple choice, so you'll be prompted to answer questions. So it's really you're using your knowledge as a board member, so you don't have to have any specific advocacy knowledge in order to take the survey, but it's just it will help us at the steering committee level, the LHEC steering committee level, like really understand what is rising to the surface for districts, what we need to be paying more attention to, and maybe come up with what the themes are, and that'll help direct the advocacy priorities for that group. We also discussed the Dear Colleague letter, which I don't have to go into further detail for, and then the big kind of sort of something that was interesting, what we spent a lot of time talking about was LHEC had a meeting with the governor's new deputy secretary of education. She started earlier, just a couple months ago, and that meeting was also on the 25th. And so we talked about what we were really going to talk about with her. And so that was an important meeting because LHEC is a very powerful organization in the state because it is one of the only organization that brings together superintendents and school board members. So that voice is important, and the state level officials like to have a connection. So that meeting, it was an introductory meeting with her. It was important to have her know us and have us know her, and her really think of us as a resource for her, a trusted resource for her. She was very interested to talk with us about literacy standards and how the state can support literacy standards. That's one of the governor's big goals. She was also interested in hearing thoughts on universal pre-K and the rollout of that and New York Inspires. LHEC's priority was to talk about universal pre-K. There was a memo that went out on that talking about staffing concerns and what the requirements are for those, and that was on top of priority for us to talk about. So we started there and then moved on to the importance of additional guidance on New York Inspires. Those were our two most important priorities. We only had 30 minutes. They were very pressed for time, so we didn't actually get to literacy, but we also expect this won't be the first time the group is going to speak with her. So it was a productive conversation.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot. A lot happened at the end.
Yes,
I told you, it was a very, very strong start to the year.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have other new business? Okay. So I'm going to take a motion to adjourn the business meeting. And do I say to enter? or
Yeah,
no?
to enter,
And
because we are going to come back
Yeah,
out in
and to
public after.
enter executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. Natalie, would you reiterate our executive session motion?
Yes, we met to discuss the particular record of a student.
Okay. I will take item 12.1. Do I have a motion to deny student transportation appeal 2026 through, for 2026, 2027, number 01?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And just, just know that the district will be reaching out about this decision
Yeah.
for this appeal. I'll move to 13.1. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everyone.